Welcome back, fight fans. This is Sunday Night Fights. This is our season finale, episode number 11, the championship title fight. It is now a best of 3 between DevM and Fir3ball. Yoink, I'm a little bit chilled down now after game 2. It didn't quite go as long as game 1. That game 1 just knocked my socks off, man. It's hard to recover from that. Maybe it was hard for the players as well.
I don't know, man. Is there any adrenaline left in your body after shoutcasting a game like Game 1? Some people in the chat channel I was reading say, and I agree with them, that was the most exciting game of our entire season. It took 11 weeks to build up to that one moment, and I think Game 1 is going to go down in the Company of Heroes Hall of Fame as being one of the greatest games ever shoutcasted and played by 2 players in Company of Heroes. Do you agree?
Well, Fir3ball's sheer ferocity. He risked everything going in on that attack. That attack, he was walking the razor's edge. It took so long to develop. The Sherman went down. The double vet M8 went down. He risked everything, and it only paid off because the 3 standing rifles were able to capture the Shrek and throw in the sticky and get the last Shrek shot to kill that King Tiger and just prevent DevM from getting back into the game. The late game Wehrmacht, you gotta hit them when you can, and you gotta hit them so hard or they will overwhelm you. So I think it was just euphoric for all of us to see Americans played precisely and beautifully, and we're still in awe. But these players, they make it a pleasure to shoutcast. The whole reason we started this series, SNF, like 3 years ago, was because we love this game, and this game is only the best when the armies are at the hands of the top commanders, and they just show you stuff that you would just never see in any other context.
I agree, and those 3 rifles that we're trying to shoot at that King Tiger, I was literally on the edge of my seat because, when you have 3 rifles left in a squad, that's right at the decision point, especially when they're under health, as to whether or not, am I going to retreat them? Is it too risky to keep them in the battle? They're just strong enough to stay, but they're kind of under strength, and a couple more shots, they're going to be down to 1 guy, and then if you retreat just 1 guy, you're in danger of losing the whole squad, and it's got a Shrek, and that critical decision-making process happened probably so fast, in Fir3ball's brain, that it just ended up going the right way for him, and when that King Tiger went down, it was like just the greatest explosion. I mean, it was probably crushing for DevM, but, that's the way this game goes, right?
Yeah, those triple vet rifles, they got the Purple Heart posthumously awarded. May they rest in peace. Hopefully we'll see some more vet. We now move to Langres if NTD would take us in-game. This takes Michi's custom map that's been around for quite a long time. Semwa, Ango, and Langres are known as the Big 3 in Company of Heroes because they have been our premier tournament maps for the past 6 years. These things rock and roll. Who would you like to follow, Yoink?
Well, I've been following DevM all day, so I might as well follow him with his Wehrmacht in the south of the fields of Langres.
Alrighty then, I'll be following Fir3ball. NTD, you ready to roll? Ready to do this thing? We're gonna have to put the monkeys and the writers to work, Yoink, to come up with a new lead-in catchphrase that we can shout. So that's our own. We'll have to work on that. All right, yeah, I'm paused at 5 seconds.
I am ready at 5 seconds as well.
All right, if NTD would do the honors, we would like to unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Quinn Duffy was so excellent. It was such a treat to have him on. His answers were so intelligent and so rich. We could have just talked to him for another hour or 2, I think. He had me in such a state. When I counted it in Game 1, I counted it in and I forgot to press play. So I continued counting, although I hadn't pressed play, and I'm trying to go to 2 times and catch up with myself counting. I was a mess, dude.
Well, you know what, Quinn, He's a true hero of this game, obviously. I mean, he's the one whose vision is coming into fruition. You know, we like to say in Company of Heroes that great players visualize their army and then make it happen. Well, with Quinn, you know, he's the one that's visualizing this product. He is visualizing what Company of Heroes 2 is going to be. And ultimately, all of us as players and shoutcasters are believing that his vision is the right one. So when you talk to him and you're actually, you know, having a question and answer session with the guy, you really do sort of connect and say, this guy's dream that he has in his head as to what this game should be is what we're all hoping is our dream as well. So it's important, you know, it's kind of fascinating to talk to that guy.
And he's so genuine, and I think that is going to come through in the game. Like, I have full confidence that this game is in the hands of the right helmsman.
Yeah, and he's very gracious. It was so nice of him to take time out of his day, which is obviously one of the most tumultuous parts of his entire year has probably been this last week, and yet he comes and just chit-chats with us on his Sunday, on his day off. So that was very nice. We were happy to have him. But speaking of having some, we're getting our first engagement here. Volksgrenadiers and Rifles right in the middle of the map. Some unbuilt green cover there was not able to be completed for DevM, so he's going to soft pedal back to some real green cover. Or maybe not. He's just going to keep walking. Oh my gosh, what is this manpower bleed he's going through right here? These folks are just walking. Is there an MG42 down here?
Shooting him in the back. It's horrible.
I know, right? An awful manpower bleed.
Killed from behind. It was awful.
I thought for sure there was an MG42 that I didn't see on the field, but instead it's a Schwimmwagen. It's now going to engage these rifles at medium range. Some Pioneers coming up from behind.
Schwimmwagen. Fear the Schwimmwagen.
It's like a bike.
It can go through rivers, too. And reverse.
Only it can back up. And reverse is very exciting. It has a reverse gear.
Alright, well, DevM's trying to push with it. But those Fir3ball's rifles are like, what? These are our hay barrels, and we're staying.
I think the rifles are like, wow, look at that little boat on the land. It's like a boat with wheels. And do you remember when Tales of Valor came out and they introduced the Schwimmwagen? It actually did have bonuses to crossing rivers. Like, there are that many rivers to cross in Company of Heroes. Pretty much Vir River is the only one it can cross. But it does have a bonus in crossing rivers versus the motorcycle, which is hilarious.
Yeah, the Schwimmwagen, a must build on Bow Lowlands.
That's right, Bow Lowlands is a critically important unit, and for Sunday Night Fights, Season 5, the lost season, when we do it, it's just Bow Lowlands and Vir River. Those are the only maps we have. Yeah, the secret season. That's what we're gonna do.
All right,
so
well,
this
little Schwimm and this rifle they're still going at it. Yeah. Standard builds from both. I've got 3 rifles out so far. Standard, well, besides the Schwimm, what else you got there?
Well, we do have an MG42 on the field, but I'm not happy with DevM's map control right now. Even for Wehrmacht, it's a little low right now on Longris. I'm expecting a little bit more capping going on, and I think that maybe the Schwimmwagen is what's hurt in terms of his capping power. He's also doing a lot of combat with his Pioneers, a lot more than is expected, and I'm not sure that that's actually gaining him anything at this point. You know what I mean? His Volksgrenadiers are under strength. This MG42 is under strength too. He's just like falling apart here on the field. What's going on?
And these rifles are making these this area, you know, DevM's ammo and these hay barrels. They're just making their home there. They're just chilling. You know, a lot of Wehrmacht players, when they come out, they will wire the north side of that green cover so that the rifles can't get away with this kind of nonsense.
Well, it looks like they're, yeah, I mean, I agree. These two hay bales here seem to be where Fir3ball has staked his claim, and he's doing a very good job of it. And what I'm seeing from DevM, I'm seeing a lot of actions per minute. He's moving his units all over the place, but he's not getting any value for it. I'm not really seeing a lot of winning engagements for the amount of clicking I see on this map going on. I mean, he really only has 4 territories, now 3 territories that he can call his own, whereas Fir3ball has got dominating control of Longres at this point. I'm not really sure what DevM is doing wrong here.
He's going to have to try to rush over to the right to prevent these rifles from lowering the only +10 fuel that he's got coming in. Let's see, the Schwimm's going to try to push him off capping and succeeds. That's a little minor victory there. At least they won't be able to wipe that fuel. DevM desperately needs it.
Yeah, you know what, he's got to hold on to this fuel, and he's got to hold on to the strat point next to the fuel. Right now it's not in any danger, but the way that Fir3ball has been back and forth in front of those hay bales shows that he knows how critically important that one strategy point is. And if he can't take the fuel from DevM, he can take the strat point from DevM. And right now I'm not really seeing a whole lot of army management on the field for DevM. Still, what did he spend his manpower on? Now he's got a sniper coming out. So he's going with Volks, MG, sniper, and a Schwimmwagen in there for some reason. I'm not really sure why he did that. You know, like I said, he's moving the Schwimmwagen all around the field like a dangerous little M8, but it's not really having the impact that an M8 would have if you moved it around the field like that. Okay, doing some scouting up by Fir3ball's base. Get the heck out of there. You need to leave now. Use those roads. They're repaired.
The motor pool. The motor pool that was planted at 5 minutes and 52 seconds. That is a super quick motor pool. Oh, what died? Enemy unit down. What died? I killed something of yours.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. It might have been... Oh, I don't know. I was watching the Schwimmwagen. I wasn't sure where it goes. But now we got a big engagement right here. Rifles coming southbound around that house. I don't think there's enough German infantry there to support. And Flamers now really going to cook these Volksgrenadiers. They're going to be in big trouble behind that cover. Everything is going to burn up. That Schwimmwagen is not enough to save them. Where is that MG42? Now it's coming just a little too late. There's that base of fire that DevM needed, and it's going to hold off those Flamers for right now, but down goes the Schwimmwagen, and where is Mr. Sniper? Get into the combat and take out these rifles. They're trying to invade territory of the fatherland, and it looks like, for now, DevM will hold what little territory he's got.
Okay, let me tell you how this game's supposed to go. Let me tell you a little something about flow. When one side, the Americans in this case, techs really quick, then while they're teching, while they're getting that motor pool and that M8 out, the other side is supposed to come back a little bit. You see DevM capping a bit of territory here, but with Fir3ball's last attack, he just, you know, put himself in an overwhelming lead right now. His M8 is going to hit, and DevM's units are going to be spread out, trying to cap back some territory. We still have rifle pressure. Look, he was so desperate for territory, the sniper was trying to cap that ammo on the side. That sniper is lucky to live through his retreat, and now the Greyhound is on the field, and this thing's going to wreak havoc on DevM's army.
Well, here comes that shock unit now. Here it comes, southbound through the field, backed up with rifle support and flamers. This is going to be dirty, dirty, dirty. There's almost nothing that DevM has that can counter it. His Kriegsbarracks is just going up, so he's still quite a ways away, still about 30 seconds away from hitting that pack. The second the cardboard box came off that Kriegsbarracks, that Pack 38 started building, and he needs it on the field, ASAP. You know, I always think it's funny. It's like these base buildings come from IKEA. You know, those like the cardboard stuff like falls off the side. It's exactly like when you open an IKEA like bookshelf. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, look,
instructions
hey.
and an Allen key.
Like our motor pool from IKEA just arrived.
Comes with that stock-sized Allen key that can put anything together, right?
Right,
so,
exactly. It's the same one.
What's up with Fir3ball being just super conservative with the M8? He didn't even use it. I mean, that M8 was out so soon. Had he led it with minesweepers, perhaps, that was surely what he was afraid of, you know, the sort of Seb mine by the Tier 2 that we saw, you know, like Razor fall on in that great finals game from many years ago. His M8 was out so early that had he wanted to, had he found a path into DevM's base, he could have perhaps gone for some kind of rush, you know, dropped an M8 mine in front of the Tier 2 at the pack door exit. He didn't have enough ammo for any kind of off-map shenanigans because he has been laying his own mines all over the field. So I guess in this situation, Fir3ball has chosen the safe route. So he's diverse. He can throw anything at you. He can be crazy aggressive and take risks. He can also play safe.
Well, you know what? This is a best-of-3 final right now, so I can understand his desire to play it safe. But he wouldn't have known this, but if he had rushed that M8 into DevM's base, he probably could have pinned DevM in there because the Pack 38 hadn't come out yet, and DevM did not have enough munitions for any more than 2 Fausts at that moment, and that's not enough to destroy an M8. So he could have sat in that base for 3 or 4 minutes just annihilating everything, which would have effectively won the game for him. But, I mean, that's a huge risk. I mean, how would you know that? You know, he's betting there's already a Pack 38 on the field and maybe Panzerfausts all over the place. So, you know, these are the things that
mines. You don't know where the mines are. That's
right.
That's
the mines
that's
too,
what
of
stops
course.
you. That's the risk. You hit a mine, and then he saves up and gets to Faust, and suddenly your whole advantage of quick teching is lost. So, Yeah, let's see though. I mean, DevM plays a very solid Wehrmacht. You know, he's got a good collection of units in there. With the pack now, he can keep the M8 at bay. It's going to be difficult for him to gain more territory, but he might have enough to extend this game and stay competitive.
Well, yeah, you know what? The fact that Fir3ball actually did not use that M8 in such an aggressive way may have just extended DevM's life by another 5 to 8 minutes, because getting that pack out now means that Fir3ball cannot use the M8 in an aggressive way, even if he wanted to. So that window's now closed. And the fact that now DevM has 2 snipers on the field, his army is becoming more powerful. The DevM juggernaut is now back on track, and it's going to continue to grow unless Fir3ball starts throwing up some of his own counters, a lot like DevM did in the last game. Every time that Fir3ball put something on the field, DevM had something better. So now this is going to be the reverse. Fir3ball's got to put something on the better. Yeah, off map coming in right here on nothing, though. It looked like Fir3ball maybe had a guess that there was some action going on there. He was close, but he missed it.
Well, there was an MG and a sniper, but they just got out of the way very easily. What I liked in that last engagement was how DevM aggressively moved his pack up and kept the perimeter for the M8, you know, very wide. He made himself enough space to get in on that ammo. His big problem now is that he's being constantly harassed. These bars have rifles, and they're just capping up the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah, you know what?
I said the bars have rifles. The rifles have bars,
the bars
too.
have rifles. That's cool.
We
all know
have each other.
This
it's a
Company of Handos is an exciting game. Sometimes you get your tongue tied. But you know what I like here,
Han Solo
DevM?
would be a badass at Company of Heroes. You know, we might see more of him in Star Wars Episode 7.
I know. And did you know that Zack Snyder is in talks now to produce a Star Wars movie outside of the trilogy based on the 7 Samurai?
Okay, we
That would be pretty cool.
got way off topic.
That was way. Welcome to the Star Wars
for
Shotcast.
J.J. Abrams.
My name is Yoink.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's gonna do Into Darkness. That looks badass. But the players are giving us room to speak. I mean, it's a little bit chill right now. DevM's trying to retain this, you know, low percentage of map control, this sort of 30 or 40%. He does have both DPs now. That's good. That'll extend his presence in this game.
I like this. He's got a small, tight little perimeter, and now he's got perfect firing solution on that M8. At least one more shot's going to come out of that Pack 38. Can he take it down?
Close
no,
one.
that M8. Oh, wow, that was really close. Just scoots outside of the territory. And DevM is holding his own, man. Like I said, this DevM train is back on track, and he's just going to keep pushing that engine forward right now with this small, tight little perimeter that he's got. What can Fir3ball do here? He's got a lot of choices. He's just not making any of them happen.
These 2 snipers are excellent. They're working both sides of the field at the same time. And really, what's shining here is DevM's pack usage. You know, like a lot of people, they sort of put their pack in one position, they kind of keep it there, and they kind of forget about it, and they micro all their other units. Look at DevM constantly microing the pack. It worked on the right side to prevent the M8 from coming in around those houses as he went for the ammo. Then it moved all the way to the left side to prevent the M8. Now it's back on the right side. You know, he's keeping Ali guessing. He's not letting him know where that pack's going to be, and it seems like maybe Ali even thinks he's got 2 of them.
Yeah, and you know what? The Pack 38 is just sometimes such a moose and molasses to micro. I mean, you just got it. Thing moves so slow.
It's hard.
And it's cloaked,
it's
and
not.
It
he's making it look
turns
easy, but it's
around.
not.
You know, he really does. It's very intensive as a player. It drains you. It takes a lot of endurance.
I love
you
it
know
when
what?
they say,
Here's the thing.
"Oh yeah, we'll hide this giant gun."
Yeah, we'll just hide this big gun.
You know, when they cloak
Big
it.
gun. Right. Now, so looks like DevM is also choosing to go with
Kill shot!
the same.
No! Just misses.
Wow, that was close.
Almost got the M8 there. These snipers are teeing off. Look how he uncloaks and shifts position. I mean, these guys are putting on a show. This is like Company of Heroes 101, how to play the game. You know, you do damage in one area of the field, uncloak your snipers, shift them over to the left, do some work over there, keep your opponent guessing, never letting him know, never keeping a fixed position.
It's true, and you know what? It's amazing to watch DevM play. He's got to handle bars, many, many bars coming towards him with understrength, unvetted infantry. And how does he keep them on the field? How does he keep his army healthy? With snipers. He's countering rifles with snipers so that he can spend the fuel on what is inevitably going to be either a Puma or a Stug coming out of that Sturm armory. Where other players would panic and spend fuel on veterancy for their infantry so that they can go toe-to-toe with, barred-up rifles. Not DevM. He's going to use 2 snipers to do it and save that precious fuel for that Puma that is now hitting the field.
What are my coordinates? Fir3ball elected to go with an on-map howitzer piece. The 105mm is poking its gun out behind the HQ and the supply yard. He had plenty of fuel. He could have gone tank depot, but he elected to go with the Howie. It is waiting to fire. It's been done for a few 30-40 seconds now, but he's waiting for that sweet first target. Here it goes. The shots are being lobbed in.
I think he was aiming for those snipers.
And the pack. Look at DevM instantly backing the pack out of the range of fire. Here comes an on-map. It's a combo. It's the off-map, on-map, but look at DevM avoid it beautifully.
Wow, he is microwing so many units at once while keeping his eye on all of these shells that are falling. Fir3ball, though, at the same time, is trying to squeeze DevM into a position where he has no choice where to go. What just blew up? A huge number of green dots came. Volk's Grenadier squad, maybe?
Yeah, a whole Volk squad got just cranked by one of those shells from the on-map shot. Yeah, the Volks are down. Are we lagging? Maybe we should do a time check. We seem a bit out of sync.
Do time sync. Yeah, I'm at 17:05, 17:06, 7, 8, 9.
All right, I had to pause for 2 seconds.
11,
I'm back with you.
12, okay.
Hopefully NTD is synced.
Finished construction.
But all right, now look at German territory, how much it has now advanced into where the Americans used to consider their forward base. We've got just both snipers just looking real good as they push into American territory, getting a good eye on where the Americans are going to be coming out. Looks like they're slipping out the side, though, on the right. I don't know if DevM saw that. Yeah, I think he did. He saw it. He got Viz on him from that house.
You know what the real lesson is for today that in Americans versus Fairmont is that Americans have to be aggressive. They have to do damage. Ali playing it conservative with the M8 didn't seem like much at the time, but now look, you know, he had an opportunity to deal a heavy blow and he squandered it.
Oh man, these snipers, man, they're just dropping rifles like flies right now. And oh my gosh, look at this giant retreat going right here, right by this M8 now.
Pack targeting the M8.
Oh, this M8 is in danger right now. Oh my gosh, look, artillery falling on that house. And these grenadiers are about to die too from artillery. Ah, here's the Stug now, ready to engage.
M8 don't like the sound, like this. What's he trying to do? These snipers are in danger. It's exciting here. The snipers are getting hung up on the stew treads. They go to very low health. One of them dies trying to retreat. The other has managed to soft pedal out cloaked and even gives a little revenge shot on the rifles as the Stug clears the M8. And it's good thing that Aliash is harassing the left with a rifle squad and an engineer squad because this harassment is the only thing that's keeping him in the game. He's getting his tail kicked in the engagements.
Yeah, that was a huge win for DevM. I mean, yeah, he lost a sniper, but he took out that M8 that was causing him so much trouble, and now there's only an AT gun on the field. He's got to move that Stug back a little bit. It's unvetted, so it's got plenty of ability to be penetrated in the front here. Ooh, gosh, you got to get out of there right now, man. Back that Stug up. Hit the reverse button. In Company of Heroes 2, that's done for you. Just press that reverse button and click behind. But now this Puma is all standing in the way of destruction of the Stug by rampaging rifles and their sticky bombs. He needs to get German infantry back up onto the field to protect his heavy armor at this point. Otherwise, it's curtains for that Stug.
This is a very important attack for Fir3ball. He's got preponderance of units. He's doing well. He's pushing them back. One squad of rifles gets force retreated to preserve the sniper's position. Folks are coming back. These flamers in the house are going to be really strong. The Puma's working on the rifles. The sniper's backpedaling. But this Stug is in deep trouble.
Yeah, you know what? It's immobilized. Down it goes to AT fire. So one piece of German armor is now down. All he's got is the Stug that's left on the field, although I do see a Puma's left on the field. I see a second Puma has been built. Finally, that flamer leaves that house, and Volks Grenadiers can recap that center munitions point, but did that artillery hit anything?
The Flamers got a super burst in right before they left. They earned themselves a pip of vet as they killed 3 dudes and, you know, saved their own lives. They've got 8 kills, that one Flamer squad. The artillery is scattering units around. Now that the M8 is down, that pack is just sort of sitting there unmanned. He doesn't want to let Fir3ball capture it, but he doesn't necessarily need to recapture it himself.
Yeah, you know, a second sniper now has been rebuilt for DevM, so you know he likes the dual sniper action, which has been doing very, very well for him. I think the one sniper that he still has on the field had, 25 kills. The other one, when it died, had 9, so he's doing a lot of good work with snipers. And again, this house gets garrisoned in the center. It's a very important house for this map. It allows Viz and a lot of protection, but you know, these rifles, they're getting chewed up by double Puma fire. This is just lost manpower at this point. He needs to get that AT gun up in front.
Speaking of manpower, Fir3ball has done both supply yard upgrades, so that's going to keep his manpower flowing in. He's building a new M8 now. It's an interesting choice this late in the game with you know, DevM's access to Stugs. I guess the M8 can help with these 2 Pumas. He does have the AT gun, so you know, the second supply yard upgrade, it's very expensive, costs a ton of fuel, a lot of manpower, but it allows your rifles to get vet quicker. It keeps your manpower rate coming in higher. You know, we're getting kind of close to OMCG time. Not really yet, but eventually that will play. And the fact that he's gotten the supply yard upgrade so early is that he's looking to play the late game here.
Okay, now we got problems though. Here's his AT gun just went down to Puma fire. So now Fir3ball has no real AT power on the field. This M8 is not gonna cut it in terms of fighting 2 Pumas at once. And now we see these Pumas here, they're firing back at the gun itself, attempting to destroy it. It's clear that DevM wants to deny Fir3ball any access to AT weaponry for the remainder of the game, if he can. Here's this M8 now trying to engage. That main gun, you know, it does do work against Pumas, but it takes forever.
It's so tough when Wehrmacht controls this territory. The rifles just have to run headlong out of their base and take so much damage as they're coming out.
Yeah, you know what, I'm not liking it. I'm not liking the way that Fir3ball has to run rifles into German territory unsupported. You know, he can reinforce them pretty easily because he's got those supply yard upgrades, but it's just a huge manpower drain, and it's just awful. It's really holding him back at this point. Oh my gosh, now we got snipers working on that AT gun, down it goes.
Yeah, and the M8 was in a hell of a duel, first with the Puma and then with the Grenadiers. Ali needs to perhaps do a full retreat on that M8. These rifles, they're just getting eaten up by the 2 snipers. There's action everywhere. We also have rifles in the center fighting Grenadiers, and we have engineers. That's that vetted squad on the left with their flames. Oh, rifles doing good, killing Grenadiers, getting double vet in the center. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The second supply yard upgrade. The vet starts rolling in. It's quite nice.
Yeah, but look at this. This is just going to be a serious problem here with these 2 Pumas. DevM is using these Pumas like maniacs. One of them has 9 infantry kills. The other one's now been upgunned with 4 infantry kills, but I feel like they've been doing so much more area denial, though. That's the thing. They've just kept Fir3ball from progressing southbound into that center territory, and he needs to take it back. I mean, that's going to be critical for him to winning this game. He needs to keep both his VP and the VP in the center.
His rifles are requiring constant reinforcement running into this meat grinder in the center. I wonder if some Rangers could do well against those Pumas. He has them unlocked, but he's never been able to afford them.
And, you know, how does a tank depot look for him? Because a tank depot would just mop up these Pumas no problem.
That's a tough choice, you know, when you go left side of... Whoa! My goodness!
Oh, the house collapsed.
An entire squad just evaporates. 5 AP bloom like a flower out of that house. Good grief. I guess Fir3ball had no idea it was on such low health. But man, all those dudes were crushed under planks falling on their heads. Nasty.
That's the problem with wooden houses, man. They really do collapse pretty easily as compared to the stone houses on this map. You know, the wooden barns, they just fall to pieces. And now Vet 2 Grenadiers engaging these Vet 2 rifles by these hay bales, just shows how far into American territory DevM is able to encroach. If he caps that strategic point, you know he's right outside American base territory. It's going to be lights out for Fir3ball pretty soon.
Let's see where this artillery is going to come in. DevM feeling very bold. He puts a Grenadier squad on capturing that pack. The snipers are getting scattered by the arty fire. He's just uncloaking them, running back and picking off more rifles. Just beautiful sniper play, just pristine tactics, avoiding artillery, moving around uncloaked, so gutsy, just knowing the map, knowing that Ali has no WSC. You mentioned Tank Depot. It is now coming up, but boy, you know, like a little cutoff move on that left fuel, and it's going to be difficult. Ali's got plenty of fuel in the bank. He's got 150 already, so he'll be able to at least produce a unit from the tank depot. But you know, with the pack being remanned and a new Stug on the field, entering this meat grinder right out in front of his base is going to be tough.
Well, you know what? Don't count Ali out now. The fact that he has a tank depot and both supply yard upgrades and all that fuel means he's going to be in a good position. I mean, he's got the manpower to really put Shermans or M18s or something like that, or M10s on the field, as long as he uses that fuel that he's got wisely, you know, but he's in danger of losing any of the rest of his income. Like you said, over on the left there, he is losing that far western fuel point. It's going to make it even harder to field American heavy cavalry at this point.
Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah, and DevM's just been avoiding artillery beautifully all game. I mean, we've seen how deadly Aliaj can be with artillery. And DevM is just his just awareness. He dodges every single one. You know, he's like the MG squad. Oops, couldn't
just
dodge
as
that
you were
one.
saying, you were saying.
Right? Every time I open my mouth. But still, overall, his unit preservation's been fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at how many units he was
moving in on the
right
longer
at the time.
pin.
Yeah, this is the longer pin right here. I don't think that an M8...
It's an M10.
Yeah, it's an M10.
Interesting. He had plenty of fuel. I guess he just wants to counter those Pumas, but if he can clear the Stug, then the M10 can go to work on the Pumas. But man, look at, he's got no room to breathe at all. These rifles are going to try to go out and provide a little bit of breathing room, but as these snipers go back to work on them,
God,
snipers have 34 and 11. That's 45 kills from those snipers. Imagine the manpower.
I mean, just look at the overlapping fields of fire that DevM has placed outside of Fir3ball's base. He's got Stugs on top of Pumas, on top of snipers, on top of a Pack 38. I mean, that can handle just about anything that comes out of that American base. It's going to be really hard to flank. Here comes that M8 attempting to flank, but it's unsupported. This is just not the right time. He should. Okay. Is it Mr. Schwimmwagen?
KT's going to be like, don't GG yet. Don't GG yet. I didn't get to kill anybody yet. Don't GG yet. Don't GG yet. He's like, come on, let me get some. Let me get some. He's the eager rookie. He wants a taste. Oh, GG. Kickdagger's like, oh, come on. Come on, guys.
Wow.
I just got here.
It's just a really big Schwimmwagen. That's all it is. Just think of it that way. It's just a really, really big Schwimmwagen with a big gun. So now it's 2-1, man. What do you say?
I say Wehrmacht on Langras is super strong. I say Fir3ball had an excellent start that he squandered by not being aggressive enough with his M8. The only thing he had to fear was mines. Lead with minesweepers. We've seen players do it. Lead your M8 all the way into the guy's base with minesweepers. Get in there, drop an M8 mine on the tier 2, do something, cause some kind of havoc. You know, maybe go armor, maybe hit crew repairs. The thing is, he didn't have a ton of ammo. He had put so many mines down. You know, perhaps his ammo resource management wasn't optimal. He wasn't able to really pull the trigger when he got the big gun, and he wound up paying for it. DevM just crawled back in, as we've seen Wehrmacht do time and again. NTD, show us the Axis wins. Fans, stick with us. We will be back with Game 4 right after this.